what are you most hopeful gets across from your part in this series? And what's your biggest fear, I guess, with this series coming out?
What I hope is that people just see the magnitude of it. I understand that IFB is not this massively mainstream, like it's not what people think of if
Yeah.
they're going to rattle off the top five denominations or something, but that it is an actual force, that it's out there, it's in our political system, um, it's it is more mainstream than people realize. And I think that was something we've seen with a couple of documentaries that have come out, that people are shocked at how um, prevalent prevailing, is that the right word?
Prevalent.
Prevalent, thank you. It is in our culture, that it is in a lot more places than people think. And so that is one thing I hope that people see the magnitude of it, that they see the magnitude of harm that it is. It's not, oh, people had a bad experience with church, that this is very active harm, stuff that's happening today. It has been happening for a while. And so I hope that people understand that. One of the things I do sometimes have a hard time with is, they call it like trauma porn. Like that is something I don't want. I don't want people to just watch this and say, oh, that makes me feel gross. And I understand, people will do that, but I hope that that's not the only thing they're going to take away
Yeah.
from it. I hope that they see it as these are real people. These are real situations that have happened, that have affected people's lives, and like affected generations of people's lives. And, that maybe that will, honestly, again, like I said, I hope this sparks change. Like,
Mhm.
Maybe with somebody, like some
Yeah.
of these places, maybe a victim, like, with First Baptist Church, nothing has been able to be done. Well, maybe the right victim will come forward because they're inspired by this to speak out now.
Yeah.
I don't want to say, I don't know if right victim is, I mean more like the right place, right time.
Place.
Like
Yeah.
this will be the one that, is able to shed even more light. And
Right.
I think that that is what I hope. And not just for First Baptist Church, but for all these churches that are being featured in the documentary,
Yeah.
because we know there's more out there. So
Yeah.
I hope they then will maybe hear about this, maybe something they pushed down all these years, and then they'll see this documentary and think, well, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna come forward. So
Right. Yeah. That was definitely the biggest fear when Sharon first reached out, was like, is the director of the doc, when she reached out, and Sam, and we got on those initial calls, but I think it was like 2020. I think it was like end of 2020 or 2021. And like, that was a lot of the conversations, was like, how are you going to approach it? What are you going to do? Because I do think I'm not big on the true crime. I know I'm technically true crime adjacent. Like, I think that's the category of this show. And but I don't get on board with like like you said, the trauma porn approach, where like people just watch it and they forget the humanity of the people involved. And that's one thing I feel very confident about, is like, from conversation with Sharon and Sam and spending time and being in a group all together, is like, I feel like there's a very big sensitivity to that, where that humanity is remembered first, and then it's like, then there's the story.